Hello and welcome to Achievement Hunting 101. This is level 378 and I am Wild West 08. As you can kind of tell, I'm feeling a little under the weather right now, so I apologize if my voice is crackly and not as smooth and silky as it usually is. So I apologize in advance for that, but hopefully we'll have a good episode today. And I am joined by my friend KooshMoose. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, not much. I'm feeling very silky and smooth. So I'll try to
Perfect.
double it up for us. Actually, now I got a
Yeah.
little tickle in my throat.
Wait, I can't pass anything to you through the
No,
through the
no.
computer.
It must be my own family germs, not your family germs.
Yeah. Anyways, how have you been?
Oh, I've been good. There's a lot to play, and they are making it real hard to let my Game Pass expire, or to let my Ultimate expire, because I tell you, the stuff that's been coming and the stuff that's going to be coming, I'm very excited about it. And unfortunately, it's going to Ultimate. I think it's going to be a theme
Yeah,
for this year.
you got all this stuff, and then you complained about a certain game that wasn't on Xbox, and you finally came, and you're still playing all this other stuff on there.
Yes. Yep.
Well,
I dip my toes. I dip my toes.
but you need to full on dive into it.
I'm a sampler. I know where you're going with this. I don't always go beyond getting my feet wet. Um, Dave.
You should have. That's almost the name of my dad, but anyways, you should have this time. But that conversation's more for next week. I'll talk about that next, or I guess next episode, not next week, but
Perfect. That'll give me more time to get a little bit
hopefully
farther.
it'll give you more time to get further. But we hope everyone that is listening is doing well. This will come out after Thanksgiving, so we hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. It was full of relaxing and good food, football, if that's what you choose to, or shopping or whatever else. We hope it was a good few days with little work and just relaxing and hopefully some video gaming in there.
We
Uh,
game time.
and some good game time, yeah, especially with all those games that come out. So I guess I didn't even realize this until I saw the contest from TA, but I guess it's 20 years now since the 360 release. That's crazy.
It is crazy. I mean, what is time?
Two
It is
decades.
ridiculous.
I mean, I kind of remember a little bit when it came out, and I just can't believe it's been that amount of time.
Yeah, that is crazy. I was 30 then. That just does not compute.
Yeah, it's L was in the ripe age of 50 already, 60 somewhere in there.
Yeah, something like that.
No, but yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy that it's been that long. I mean, it's just because it feels also like the Xbox One has been out for a long time as well. But yeah, 360 has been out 20 years. November of 2005, excuse me, is when it released, and went on to become kind of probably Xbox's most iconic console.
Yeah, it might be my favorite generation of Xbox. I mean, this generation is cool, but that generation was just special.
I like the speed and graphics, the speed of the console graphics nowadays, but I
Mhm.
would have to agree that the diversity of games, I think I prefer the 360 more. There's just a lot more risks involved, a lot more good games overall.
I mean, it had arcade. It was the start of games with gold. So you're getting these little gems and guacamole and just
Well, you think about it for that time. I mean, yeah, Halo was out for the Xbox, but it really hit its stride in the 360 versions. And then you
Mhm.
had Gears of War for that. You've had, all those licensed games that I know you like that came
Oh
out
yeah.
on that time. And it's not to say that they weren't out before. A lot of them, been out since the, original, all the old consoles too. They still had them, but it just kind of felt like again they hit their stride during the 360 time, and then you had big games that you just don't see very much anymore, like Mass Effect, Assassin's Creed, come out. I just don't feel like since the Xbox One's been out that you haven't seen those quality of games. But someone will correct me and say, no, you still get a bunch of good stuff, but I feel
I
like it
say
was
like
more.
they were
What's
not
that?
seeing things like 50 cent blood in the sand and Snoop Dogg, whatever his fighting game was. Uh, I mean, that's the sort of stuff that, come on, man, that's the best.
Yeah, I would say that you kind of see the experimenting during the 360, PlayStation 3 era, but then in the Xbox One and Xbox Series X era, I think it's more of the remaster, play it safe gen. We're spending so much money creating games now that we have to play something safe to get our money back. But
Well, and we also had that weird little period where we got what was it? NBA 2K20, the whatever was like a free demo, but it had like a achievements. That was awesome.
yeah,
And then of course Ben Hur, the tie-in,
yeah, they gave that
little
one away for free, I think.
the gamelet that went away, and then they now it's gone, can't get it anymore. But I mean, that was an interesting little experience. It was kind of like trying to harken back, I think, to the glory days of the 360.
Yeah, yeah. So, but we have enjoyed seeing all those responses. I mean, one of the ones that stuck out with the was the what was it, Hands of Coal or whatever. I can't.
Yeah, yeah.
That
I
was
I
kind of
never
the
knew
one.
about that game. That was before I knew other people played games. So
Yeah, that seemed to be the one that a lot of people said they were did not like.
yeah, Ascend, Hand of Cool or something, right?
Yeah, that was kind of the one. There's a lot of good games I hadn't really heard of a lot when I was reading, going through all that contest stuff. But definitely, I think the Hands of Coal was the one that three or four people mentioned that they did not like, and they wished it was not even on their tag at all. But it was fun to see some of those things, except for Super Mario RPG. I mean, that's yeah. Perfect Dark Zero was one that was mentioned once or twice as well. I would kind of agree that it wasn't the best follow up, especially when you're following just the great game that was Perfect Dark on the 64.
Mm.
Uh, but is there any game that kind of had some bad memories for you that you wish you might have not played on the 360?
Well, I forget what I posted. It was probably a joke. That's just the way I roll. I think I feel like I was never really happy with gosh, what was that? I can't even think. Lost Planet.
Oh
Um,
yeah, who is
yeah,
that that mentioned that?
I didn't love it. Like it wasn't as good as I thought. The controls just felt wonky, and I was like, I would rather have never started this. Okay, yeah, it looks like I replied Defiance, which was
Okay,
literally a tie-in to a TV show on Sci-Fi Network. And the only reason I'm upset about it is that I picked this game up, but then I didn't play it in time. And then the servers went down. And I think there was enough time where, had I been given months, I could have gone in and, Mattism and I were playing, and he went a little harder than I did. I think he may even started it before I did. So he got farther. But I would have liked to have gotten the completion in that because it was just kind of cool. It's a cool concept, right? You're playing this game, and then the episode comes out that week, and then the game has something having to do with that episode that week. It's just a really kind of cool concept that I don't think we've seen, and it obviously did really well because they killed the servers and the show's gone, and they've not done it again.
yeah,
Um, yeah, so I wish that had gone better, but I also maybe I hadn't started that, or rather, I wish I had started sooner. So that's not quite the same thing. So we'll have to go with Lost Planet just because.
yeah. It was. I was you were talking. I was looking it up. So it was Ben L72 said Lost Planet 2 because it was like 300 to 500 completion percent hours there. So that's
Yeah,
crazy. I
it's insane.
remember I played a demo of that one time when I was uh, either I was at like a GameStop or something. They had like one of those demo discs with a bunch of games, and I played it,
Mhm.
and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool." And so I played another demo, I think on the Xbox Live 360 Marketplace and everything, and it just didn't stick with me as much as it did when I was playing it before. So I'm kind of glad I never started that game.
Yeah, yeah. If I was a
It
completionist, that would be killing me. But
was kind of a cool premise, but they just kind of wore it down. Sometimes Capcom does those crazy completion times in there, but
Yes. Yeah.
yeah. So we had. I don't. I mean, it was really cool to see some games that I had never even heard of, like Quantum Gray 17 said Wits and Wagers. I had even heard about that.
I think I completed that because
Did you really?
yeah,
Congrats.
some people wanted to get it done. I think it was Mental, and I can't remember who else was involved in that. Maybe Kingsman or something. I can't remember who we did it with, but yeah, we basically just left it running all night because I think the complaint was, oh, you had to get all 170 or some silly number of questions, and so we just let it run overnight, maybe even over a couple days, just to get it done. And then once everybody got done, we uninstalled.
Yeah,
And
right
then
away.
went back. Yep.
That's cool. Yeah, there's a lot of good games in there. Retro Tree said Cameo. That's one of those original 360 games. Hate Me 4141 said Infernal Hell's Vengeance. I think I remember seeing that on one of the games that was like the worst 360 games. Uh, let's see what else we got. Fatal Inertia from XLX Jester, another one that was in there. So yeah, it was really cool because there was like a lot of these games I either forgotten about or just hadn't even heard. So it's kind of neat to kind of go through and see them and read about them and everything. So we appreciate the responses, and I did the random.org drawing right before we started, and our lucky first place winner is Fluttery Chocob.
Fluttery chicken. Yes.
Fluttery Chicken almost.
They changed it to Chocobo. So
Chocobo. So yeah. So I will be reaching out to you soon, and you can get your choice of whatever game you want. And then our second winner gets whatever game Fluttery does not choose is J Block. So
speaking of
congratulations.
which, yeah, congratulations, guys. And you can send me that code if you want me to be your friend. I will take that part together too for sure. But I was just going back and looking at the Wits and Wagers, and it looks like it was Jay Black was in that boost. Skeptical Mario, myself, Mental Knight, and Kirkland got it a little bit later than Jay Black and Skeptical Mario and I. We got that in 2020. And then a week later, Mental got it. And 2 weeks later, Kirkland got it. So I feel like we must have been in that boost together.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's according to him, it was, or according to them, it was, like 700 questions or something like that. Was crazy. You have
Yeah.
to see every single question on there, but no, I mean, we appreciate all the stuff. I mean, I'm seeing Saints Row. I'm seeing Saucy Slingo said Fairy, Legend of Avalon. That was on my lowest, one of my lower rated 360 games. Picked that up for like 50 cents or something. I was like, it can't be that
Yeah.
bad, can it? Oh, yes,
That
it
was
can be.
that was the allure. I started it. I got it was 50 cents or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was horrible.
It wasn't like the worst, but it was definitely just, you could tell it was an early arcade game.
Tell you something I didn't put, but I thought about was Yaris. That was a hard to
Okay.
get one because you had to it was like the downloadable. It's still floating around out there. You can get it off of some, I don't know, drive shares. But that game is just not well done, and it kind of stinks.
Oh, yeah. Jumper. You remember Jumper game, another tie in game?
Yeah, and that was the other thing. I did not appreciate you getting people to say all these bad games because then I'm looking around at my shelf and I'm like, all right, I picked up Jumper, but I haven't started it. Oh, I picked that up. I haven't started that. And just like all these things they're rattling off as the worst games ever. I was like, I was looking forward to starting that at some point.
Yeah, you've now had almost 20 years to play these games.
Yes.
Too.
And give me another 20 and maybe I'll play a few of them.
To put a bow on this conversation, I saw a few people mentioned Game Room. Is that I feel like you've done that, correct? Have you started that one? What are your thoughts on Game Room?
I maybe started it, but I did not get into it at all. If I did start it, but I went ahead, sure as heck, went ahead and picked them up when they were about to go out of the 360
Yeah.
store. I'm sure I picked some of those things up foolishly, and they may not even work now. So I don't know much about it other than it's Kinect Labs, right?
Yeah, it was one of those things that kind of felt like a one of the like you kind of go in there and you play games on like a like a machine, isn't that an arcade machine?
Something
Isn't
like
that what
that.
it was?
It reminds me of PlayStation Home. Speaking of that other console and ecosystem, I remember you kind of went into like this little play area, yeah, and you could kind of set it up the way you wanted and have these old games over here and go do stuff there, and it just never really happened. Never really clicked.
Yeah,
Never
like
really
you'd
went anywhere.
buy, yeah, because you'd spend like however much money to buy the game, or maybe you got, I think actually, never mind, you got the game for free, but then you'd have to spend like a couple dollars to get different games added to that or something.
Yeah, and they
And
kind of like
sometimes they
set
go
it
on
up.
sale, but yeah,
That
but
sounds
yeah.
right.
And I got to give a last shout out to Aragon. A few people mentioned that. That was one of the first games I was on this achievement high and saying, "Oh, I love doing achievements." And then I got that game from GameFly, and I was like trying to beat it on the hardest difficulty, and it wouldn't let me. And I was like, "I have to do 2 playthroughs." I was like, "This is stupid."
Also on my shelf.
Well, enjoy that whenever you get around to it. Maybe in 20
I
more
will.
years.
I will. Give me a couple
So,
years.
congratulations to Fluttery and JBlock again. I'll reach out to you soon, and we can get everything going. Fluttery, you will get your first choice of either Dave the Diver or Farm Together 2, and then, uh, and I guess if you don't want any of those games, then we can move on. I'll do another random drawing, and JBlock will get whatever one Fluttery does not choose. So we will go there. I guess in this last week, I was bombarded in gaming news with a bunch of talk from a partner preview. And I believe Rocker and Koosh were just giddy over every little thing that was coming out. So I will pass it over to you to kind of do a summary of what we saw there.
Yeah, it was very exciting. I jumped in late because I was stuck in a work call and I was hoping to pop over and just kind of watch this stuff, but work call went long, so I kind of missed the beginning. But they showed off some of the 007 First Light, which I think looks really good.
It does.
Um,
Did they show the mansion level or did they show something else?
all I saw was a car, and I saw a trailer with a car come up, and I was like, "Ugh, racing game, time for me to take off." And then there was a gun. And I was like, "Wait, an Aston Martin and a gun?" I'm like, "This has got to be."
Put two and two together.
Yeah, I was like, "This has got to be Bond, right?" And sure enough, I don't think they showed a whole lot. It was just a teaser. I think this game is still a ways off.
I
Does
think
it
it
even
comes
have a
out next
year?
year.
March 27th of 2026. So
Yeah.
that's what they're shooting for. We'll see. Then there were some scary things. Armistice, a third-person roguelike shooter. I don't remember seeing that one. We got a surprise shadow drop of Clover Pit on Game Pass, which is oh gosh, it's like Saw. Like you're in this little room with like a lottery machine, and you just kind of pull the handle, and you kind of try to get matches and stuff like that. And it's the way they said it's a cross between Saw and what's that poker game, Balatro. Um, so I don't know too much about it. I'm sure people are screaming at me right now, but if you don't like Balatro, you're not going to like Clover Pit. I don't think. I started it, and I just kind of feel like, oh, I'm just pulling this handle, and I guess there's ways to game the system and make it so you can progress farther and unlock things to make it a little bit your next run easier or whatever. Uh, I'm not in love with it. And then there was Crow Sworn, which is something that I saw a while ago. It's a Metroidvania, kind of like heavily inspired by your Shadow, not Shadow Knight. Uh, uh, can't think right now. It's too late. Um, then of course Dave the Diver. Uh, but the announcement that not only are we getting Dave the Diver, we're also getting the In
I
the
hadn't heard
Jungle
of that game
DLC.
before, so
Yes, but that's not in Game Pass. We had to buy that one. That's fine. I bought it the second it was available, and I played it on the. Maybe the reason I didn't go so hard on it is because I've played a bunch on the PlayStation,
okay.
and yeah, and I was like, okay, this is great. I'm going to chip away at this. So what I've been doing is I've been playing during the workday. I'll play like either the beginning. I don't want to go too much into Dave the Diver because I know you're going to talk about it next time we get together, probably.
That'll give you some time to, you know, us to
Yeah,
bounce stuff off each other.
yeah, but the way it works, I'll play like a day at a time, or the first
Yeah.
part of the day. Do my 2
Yeah.
dives. I'll do the sushi later or whatever. So I kind of break it up that way. It's great. I'm just gonna love chipping away at that one. Echo Generation 2. I didn't love Echo Generation 1, but this looks cool, and I will check it out. I'll give it a chance. Something that did look very cool was Erosion, another game using voxels, but it's got kind of a Western theme to it. So I'm interested in looking at it more. Then there was a really weird Eminem versus Eminem, or rather Eminem versus Slim Shady in the Hitman World of Assassination.
Yeah,
I don't know
that
what's
was
going on.
weird.
Don't know what's going on there, but
I had to do it. I had to do a double take because I was like, "Wait, what?"
yeah. Let's see. There's this other thing, the Mound Omen of Cthulhu. I didn't see anything about that. Then Raji Kali Yuga. Basically, if you remember Raji from Game Pass, it was um, a side, kind of like a side scroller, but like a very small perspective. You're moving around, and there was combat. It wasn't side scrolling; it was like 3/4 perspective with really big environments, and you just kind of run and have like this weird kind of combat. Well, they've changed up the formula. It is now a really good looking um, actiony type game, and I don't really know what to expect. So I'm looking forward to learning more about that one. Then we saw Reanimal, which is from the creators of Little Nightmares, and it looks exactly like what you would think Little Nightmares 3 should have been. That's what this was. Got the weirdness of roadside research. Let's see what else was. I don't want to mention everything. The next really big thing, and I'll probably end with that. Although I will mention that Zoopunk is kind of has a tie-in to Fist. You remember that game, Fist, which is forged in Shadow Torch, which was a Metroidvania that I was pretty excited about. This Zoopunk has tie-ins to that, and it looks like it's a RPG fighting type game. I don't know. Definitely stuff to watch and to learn more about. But the really big thing, I guess the really big surprise, was Vampire Crawlers. So not Vampire Survivors, not another free expansion to Vampire Survivors. It's going to make you have to go in and play more. But they've taken Vampire Survivors, they've tilted it 90 degrees, and it's now kind of a dungeon crawler, but also a card battling dungeon crawler. I don't know, but they've changed up the Vampire Survivor formula a bit. It's really cool to see them actually getting a new game, so maybe they can get some more money. That would be cool for them. And yeah, so that'll be interesting. So lots of stuff to interest people enough to go look at stuff. I think there's something in there for everyone to go check out.
Yeah, yeah, that was a good mix of stuff from what I saw. So some new stuff to check out that's coming down the pipeline. Meanwhile, we got the Assassin's Creed DLC is now out for Mirage, and they got a jump button, which is it's amazing. It took so long for them to do that, but here it is. So I know a lot of people on my friends list have played the base game, and now the DLC is out. So if you're interested in that, it's free, and I saw the completion time is about 6 to 8 hours, so it doesn't look like it's going to be too long of an extra completion. So you got that going, and I think this might be your last update of outright games delisting, unless Koosh can steer me in the right direction. But I believe I heard that once the Black Friday sale goes away, that they're going to be delisted. Is that correct? Around
Yeah,
that time?
I think it's early December, but yeah, when the sale, get it before the sale. If you really want this stuff, better now because it's going to be going away imminently.
Yeah. So I was looking at the list. From what I saw, it was Transformers Battleground just got added to it, and you were saying it was on sale. Is that correct for Black
It's on
Friday?
sale. The Ultimate Edition is on sale, which has the DLC, which does have achievements. So I think it's like $9 or $10.
Okay. So you got that. There's Monster Machines Axle City Racers, which is not on sale, at least according to what I saw. That's $40. The Adams Family Mansion Mayhem is also $40 and not on sale. But for all our worldwide fans, we've got JoJo Siwa is on sale for $4.
It was only $4. No wonder. No wonder.
That's the only reason why I bought it.
Yeah, at $4, I can almost see that maybe possibly being something someone would do.
Yeah, I was telling Koosh in the pre-show. Usually around 6:37 my time, my wife and I will sit down and watch a show or a movie and everything. And so, we had finished cleaning up dinner and everything, and we sat down and I, turned on the Xbox and I was going over. We're watching Parks and Recreation right now before our Peacock stuff expires, and so I was getting that up before we were going to watch something else. And she saw the tile for JoJo on there. She's like, "What are you buying?" Shaking her head in disgust. And I said, "It was only $4. I mean, come on.
Come on, it's a worldwide party.
And it's only 2 to 3 hour completion, so come on." Anyway,
But
so
but it's gonna feel like 20 though. That's the nice thing.
you know, I'm not going to doubt it, because when you were talking about Barbie Project Friendship, and you're like, well, it seems like a lot longer than what you actually play, and I did it this week because of it leaving Game Pass, and I can
Mhm.
attest it does. Definitely
Yeah,
feels a lot longer than the 68, because I think I finished around 6 hours, and man,
it's a
it
long
was a
6 hours.
rough 6 hours to do that.
Yeah.
But anyways, catch those games from Outright Games. That's Transformers Battleground, Monster Machines, Axle City Racers, JoJo Siwa Worldwide Party, and the Adams Family Mansion Mayhem. If you want them, this is your last chance to get them.
Now, if you're listening, and it's months after this episode has come out, I believe all those do have physical versions. So you can no longer get the digital, but you may be able to find the physical in a garbage bin somewhere, or or some used store. So good luck.
That's a good point. All right, let's transition to the game showcase. Kush, why don't you start us off this week?
Sure. I was going to talk about Ball Pit, but then I heard the last episode where Freaky Row was talking about it, and I thought he did a pretty good job talking about it. One thing he didn't get to, because I think he said he unlocked 10 characters, and I think he should have gotten to the character at that point. But slight spoiler, there is one character that was used in the debugging of the game, which I thought was really interesting. So what is Ball Pit? Very briefly, if you didn't hear last week, it is basically Arkanoid or a brick breaker. And you're a character that can move around at the bottom of the screen, and your goal is to break all these blocks. The blocks keep marching towards you. You need to kill them all. There's 3 points during the level. I guess 2 points where you fight like a little mini boss. And at the very, very end of the level, you fight a larger boss that has more unique attack patterns and things like that. There's several characters. I want to say 10, 12, something like that. And they're pretty different. Some of them just shoot one ball at a time. Some of them have a shield. So it's a lot more like Arkanoid at that point in time. But then you also get strange twists on the formula. Like one character, instead of shooting from him, he's shooting from the top of the screen. So everything's coming down behind the bricks. And then you also have a juggler character who will launch the ball. So you can actually throw it over some bricks and hit like a hole, and then have the ball kind of bounce around in there. So very, very interesting, very different if you want, with the different characters. And then eventually you can combine characters. You can get the benefits of both. And you'll then, towards the very end, I think the last character you unlock, or maybe the next to last character you unlock, is a character that the developer used to test the game, because he was like, I just need to be able to have the game kind of play itself. And so that character plays the game. They make upgrade decisions. They actually move around the field. They do everything. And you can use that character to kind of idle the game. Once you get to the point where you've had all your fun, or maybe you want to play every single level, and that's fine. And then you're going to find that just using this character is boring, because the game plays itself. But if you're like me, and you got about halfway through all the characters and beating all the levels, and you were just kind of, I'd gotten all the fun out of it that I wanted. Yeah, you can use that character to kind of idle play a good portion of the game. But it is a fun game. It's one of those nice things where you just come in, you play a little bit at a time, make it like a little daily gaming habit, play a level here, go do the top side, kind of like Dave the Diver has the two different gameplay types that you're doing, so you get a little bit of variety. And yeah, I just think it's a great game to kind of chip away at. In the same vein, as Ball and Pit. So once again, that was Freaky Row was talking about that last week. I thought I did a pretty good job, but I just thought I'd go a little bit more and let you know what's at the back end of that gameplay is you're going to have to beat every level with every character, and you're going to have to find these combinations of weapons and things like that. So it's not a very difficult completion, but you are going to have to spend time, and hopefully that's something you enjoy as you're playing along with your daily gaming habit. And at the very end, you might have to do a little research to figure out what elements to combine, what characters will help you get those elements, things like that. But it's not a bad completion, and it's a real fun time while you're doing it, I think. In the same vein as Ball and Pit is another gaming Game Pass called Monsters Are Coming Rock and Road Edition, I believe it's the full title. Let me pull that up. Yeah, Rock and Road. Or Windows. So this is Windows only. This game is like a mix of Ball Pit and Vampire Survivors. The twist on it is that you are this hero that's running around a field, and you are guarding a moving city. So it's a city on these big tank treads, and the city is constantly moving from the top of the screen to the bottom of the screen. And you're going through like these valleys, you're going through like the desert, and you're being attacked by these little spidery type creatures. And I shouldn't say spidery, they're more shadowy. I don't think it's going to freak too many people out if they have arachnophobia or anything. And your goal is to keep the things from getting to the city and to harvest various materials, things like trees or stone or gold. And you'll also find special items like upgrades, or you might find minions that are buried out on the sides of this vertically scrolling track. Now, when you farm trees, you'll be upgrading the city's ability to defend itself. And so that will increase its attack speed of all these little buildings that you're going to add to it. As your hero gets experience points, you level up, just like in Vampire Survivors or Ball Pit. You're going to pick an upgrade out of 3. You can re-roll. You'll pick an upgrade. Oh, this is going to let me attack faster. This is going to let me harvest faster. This is going to let me swing harder. This is going to make my swing cover more area. So I'll be able to hit more things at one time. You can also, as you progress through the game, you'll be unlocking different weapons. So those weapons will now enter the upgrade pool, and you'll kind of, have to now choose from, okay, well, do I want to upgrade this special thing that helps me drill through rock faster, or do I want to focus on my attack speed, that sort of thing. The rock, when you harvest rock and you bring it back to the city, that restores the city's health. If the city's health gets down to 0, your run is done. But the nice thing about that is any distance that you've traveled is the currency that you use to do permanent upgrades. So if you've traveled 1,000 meters or 1,000 units or whatever, then your city dies. Well, you now have 1,000 units of travel that you can apply to your hero's health, your hero's armor, your hero's attack speed, things like that, or the city's health, the city's armor, the city's attack speed, all those sorts of things. So those are your permanent upgrades there. Let's see what else.
So that's interesting. So it's like so you're playing like as a house or something that's attacking.
You're playing an actual hero, so you're just kind of running around on your 2 legs,
okay,
with your backpack.
But you're in like a house that moves or something like that.
You're just running around the field, and there's a big city on tank treads that is coming from the top. It's a big city, and it takes up, I don't know, let's say maybe a quarter to a fifth of the screen, but it's in the center of the screen. It's coming from top down to bottom, and you can kind of run away by like a screen, maybe north or south of it, as you're dealing with stuff. You can't run permanently away from it, but it kind of keeps you kind of close to it. Yeah. But you can to go pick up materials that you've dropped, or to finish off enemies. There's only so much you can carry, so that's one of the things you can upgrade about your character is, I can carry more materials at a time before I have to go back and drop them off and then go get more stuff. That's another thing you can upgrade. But yeah, so you're just kind of running around. One of the nice things is when you go to cross your city, so let's say you're up in the top left corner harvesting something, but now there's enemies in the lower right corner, so directly diagonally opposite you, and now your city's in the middle. you don't have to run around your city. You can kind of just run through your city. Your guy will kind of jump on it, run over it, and then jump to the other side. So that is nice that it doesn't bump into you and mess you up, and you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, it's a fun game. However, I think the progression is harder than Ball Pit. I think you're going to have to grind a little bit more. The levels feel a little bit long to me, but it's still fun. I'm not saying this is not a fun game. This is a fun game. But I think they could have maybe made the levels a little shorter, maybe have the action go a little bit faster. And I think it would be a better game for that. The progression or the unlocks are based on, okay, there's normal, there's hard, I think there's nightmare. So I think there's 3 different difficulty levels. And you will get an unlock for every city that you get to the end with. And there's 3. So there's 3 checkpoints. The 3rd checkpoint is where you have to fight a boss, and then you have a little bit of time to kill the boss and get to the end of the level. I think you can get to the end of the level without killing the boss. I think that is possible, but ideally you want to kill the boss and get to the end of the level. Once again, your permanent upgrade materials is distance traveled, so not killing the boss doesn't really matter. The only nice thing about killing the boss is you get an achievement for each one of the bosses, and I think they might also unlock weapons or gears. I think like in-game achievements can also give you unlocks for more weapons or more building types. As you upgrade your building,
do you have to play on these different difficulties, or
yes, you will have to. You will
have to. Okay.
Yeah. So when you're getting the wood, for instance, and you use the wood to upgrade your city, when it gets up a new level, you'll have a new building that you can add to the city. And there's like a little grid system, and you have to connect pieces to some other existing piece. Okay. You can add things that are like a flame tower or ballistas or some sort of cannon, something like that, or archers. You can also get little buildings that will help you mine resources. They'll just generate resources over time. You'll then get buildings that say, oh, your explosions are bigger, or fire does more damage, things like that. And each one of those is a little square that you attach to your building. So now your city is getting bigger. And that means it's a larger target for the enemies. So you kind of have to balance, okay, well, how big do I want this thing to get? Can I still protect it? If it gets really wide, sometimes you have to like break down trees or rocks that are in the middle of the path, because that will stop your city from moving. And now the enemies are coming quicker towards your city because it's not moving. So you have to kind of balance all that stuff. It's a really cool little game. But like I was saying, for the progression and the unlocks, the hardest stuff is going to be for unlocking all the weapons. And the reason for that is the way you unlock the weapons is by beating the higher difficulty levels. And so far, I have not been able to even beat a hard level. I've only been able to beat the normal levels, and those haven't been too difficult. I think you just have to grind on it, get enough upgrades, and then eventually those next levels will fall. So I don't know if it's going to be a really tough completion or if it's just going to be a really grindy completion. But it is a fun game, and I'm enjoying doing that one daily as well for my my PC request or PC quests of the Game Pass.
That's a lot of daily games you're playing there. Keep saying, yeah, I dip my toe into this for a little bit each day. And
well, the nice thing about the Game Pass is that I can just throw this one up on the PC while I go do my Dave the Diver levels. And then I'm kind of 2 birds, 1 stone, play for 15 minutes, get all that stuff done. Ideally, shut them down and go back to work. But if I go a little bit long, I go a little bit long.
Yeah, that game seems a little interesting to me. I'll have to check out some gameplay of it. I haven't ever heard of it, so.
Well, it's brand new. It's brand new. It's PC only. I can't see why it wouldn't come to consoles at some point. But it's a cool looking game. I saw that, it was brand new to me as well. Maybe a month or so ago is when I saw the first trailer for it. And I was like, that looks really cool. Really cool idea. And then very, very briefly, because this game doesn't deserve to be talked about much at all, Pigeon Simulator.
Oh, no.
This is in Game Pass. I wanted this to be good so bad.
I
wanted it to be good. And it looked like it could have been. And they just squandered it. Whoever made that trailer deserves like an Emmy, because they made it look so cool. And it is just not. It is not good. However, let this serve as a warning. I would say don't start it. I would say, or if you do start it on a alt tag, because it is not what they advertised. Basically, you're a pigeon, but you're also a ghostbuster, which I don't remember seeing that in the trailer at all. Or you are somehow in the upside down, or there are portals to the upside down, and you go to this like phantom zone where you have to fight even more ghosts to get money. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird, man. It's not at all what I thought it was going to be. And the worst part about it is they've decided this is design of the game that if you die, if you don't complete a level, you have to start over from square one. All of your upgrades are wiped away. All your money is wiped away. All your progress is wiped away. You can't start. So if you beat level 1 and you beat level 2, you can't just jump to level 3. I don't believe. Because I've already beaten the first level. I think I died on the second level. I paused it and I went away. I don't think pause works. The time is still progressing when I thought it was paused, and then I died and I came back and I lost all my progress. I had unlocked like 4 upgrades or something. And then I came back and all that was gone. I then checked the TA forums and they said, no, that's the design of the game. It's a roguelite. I'm like, no, that's not how roguelites work. Like roguelike, yes. Roguelite, no. Like it's not. And so this game's bad. I wouldn't recommend doing it at all. But if you do, I did see one comment in the forums that said a way to get around the progression being lost is just before you die dashboard, go back in and you'll at least start over where you were before. If you beat the first level and you quit the game, you come back, you can still begin on level 2. Another person said the way to get around that is just keep playing the first level over and over and over again, because it's really easy. That one's really hard to die on. The problem with that is when I went to go check that out just before jumping on with you, because I just wanted to verify, you can't use the map until level 3. So I think you might have to be able to beat levels 1 and 2 in order to get to level 3. You may even have to beat level 3. I don't know. And at that point, the map system opens up and you can choose where to go. And then you can just keep doing level 1 over and over again. Another thing in the forums that's pretty common is people say play it co-op. So find someone else to suffer through. It makes it easier to not fail those first couple levels, I guess. But then just keep playing level 1 over and over again. If you're about to die dashboard, that should keep your progress saved. And so yeah, but my recommendation is just skip it. It's not good.
Yeah, it was. I would agree with you. It was a lot different than I thought it'd be.
Yeah. Oh, you started?
Oh, I finished it.
You finished Pigeon Simulator?
Yeah. Did you see it on a friends list?
No, I didn't. So how did you get all the upgrades?
Secrets.
Did you jump in someone else's game?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I saw another thing in the forums that said if you go to someone else's game that has a lot of currency, you can spend their currency to upgrade and get the full completion. So I don't know who that's played this game to get that much money. That's ridiculous. But you need to send me.
Yeah, it's right there in the forums. I believe it is. Let me see.
You have to join somebody's game though.
Oh, it's not. I can send that to you afterwards.
Yeah, I'll have to think about that, but
it's up to you. But yeah, it looks like I would say it's probably at a 5 hours completion, maybe more, because you have to grind out all that stuff.
Yeah, it's just
so
one of the things I noticed is like my counters have gone up for all the things you have to do, like, oh, use this tool 10 times, use this tool 20 times. Well, you use them all in the demo, or not the demo, but the introduction level. I think you could just play the intro level over and over again to kind of get those all out of the way. But that seems also horrible to me. Just don't play the game. I think just don't play the game. That's what I would recommend.
Yeah, I'll just leave it at, yeah, I was duped as well. I saw the stuff for it and I was like, oh, this looks pretty cool. And it was not what I thought. So
yeah, give that trailer editor an Emmy. This game is horrible.
Well, speaking of games that were a little bit less, less as good as we thought they were, I'm going to be talking about FBC Firebreak. Are you familiar with this game at all, Koosh?
I am. I thought about starting it. Tell me why I shouldn't.
Uh, I would say that it is it's a decent game. It's a three-player versus enemies and everything game from Remedy. So you guys know I have a big love for Control and Alan Wake and that universe. This is set in that universe with no-name players that you will play as, and you will compete with those other two players on different levels to get rid of enemies and to make it to the end of the level. And then after you've completed all of the objectives, you'll head back to the beginning of the level and take the elevator down. So it's you working with two other people, or you can start games by yourself. But if you do have a full group, you'll have three people working towards different objectives throughout the maps. And then after you've done all the objectives, you'll head back to the beginning, and they'll have the elevator there that you come out of, and you'll go back in the elevator to finish the game. The game overall is not that bad. The problem lies in the fact that they have done some tweaking and balancing of the gameplay since it came out. So it came out June of this year. So I guess it's actually only been out for a little bit less than I thought it was. June 17th, 2025 is when it came out. And at that time, you could do a lot of things solo. And so people were complaining that it was too easy. So they decided to make things a lot harder. And lo and behold, my friend and I started it and coming in thinking, oh, it's not that bad. It's a lot more intense now than it was back then. So are you like a fan of doing those kind of co-op three or four people versus, I think it's PvE, what they call it.
I prefer PVE.
I do as well. I like when you play with other people instead of
Yes,
against other people. So
but I think 3 person is a weird thing. Like I have a 4 man, I have 2 4 man groups. You do a 3 man group, and then we have to kick someone out, and
yeah,
that just feels bad.
yeah. Yeah, it is. The player count is definitely down. There would be times that I'd be sitting waiting. I could always find a quick match. It just depends on what level I wanted to play at. It depends on if I was actually going to play that match or not. So you could still find quite a bit of matches, but yeah, the three-person aspect can throw some people off because most games you're boosting with four people, maybe more, but the more common one is four people, and so like you said, if you have groups that you play with, and you're either gonna have to kick someone out or leave someone out. Yeah. So, anyways, so kind of diving a little bit into this game. When you start the game, you'll get a little tutorial. The tutorial obviously will kind of show you how to play the game. The game has three classes that you'll play as. It'll have a is in there. It has a, jump kit, a fix kit, and a splash kit. So you can choose any of those three, and you're not beholden to playing the three different kits. If you want to have a three-person team and they're all the same kit, you can go ahead and do that. It's better to switch around and play as different kits in the game because then you get different abilities that kind of help you out. For example, the jump kit provides you with a kind of some electrical device. I don't know what it's. I don't think it ever had a name for that I could say, but it has an electrical device that will jumpstart machines in the level a lot quicker. Um, the fix it kit will give you a wrench that you'll be able to fix the machines quicker by hitting it. And the splash one is more of a healing class, and so it'll help heal. So you start the level, you go down the elevator, you go out into whatever level you're doing. The objectives start, so you'll have to kill a bunch of enemies. Other times you're having to do different objectives. In the maps, you'll have a shower. So the water is kind of how you heal in the game. So you'll fix the shower. If you have someone with the fix it kit and the wrench, they can smack the shower to get it started. If you don't, or if no one chooses it, the way you work around it is it has a button prompt that you have to do, and it's a bunch of L, B, and RB buttons. So it's different each time. So you'll have to kind of do whatever the sequence is as quickly as possible to get it started. Some of those showers also have a generator attached to them that you might need to restart. So that's where the jump kit class comes in. They can start it fast, or if you don't have someone, then again, you just would hit the LB, RB prompts that come up and to restart the generator. They also have ammo stations throughout the map as well, and you'll have to restart the generator there sometimes. So pretty much anything in the game that you need to fix can be fixed with a kit. But if you don't have that kit, then you'll have to use the LB, RB prompts to start it, which will take a little bit longer, and the enemies will not stop while you are trying to fix it. So just something to look out for there. Each map has three sections of the level that you'll have to complete. You have to complete the section objective first before going to the next section. Usually it's walled off by a big gate that won't open until you finish that objective. For instance, one of the levels will have you picking up radioactive seeds that you'll need to push in this cart. So you'll be pushing the cart up, up this little hill. You'll have to fill it with a certain amount of seeds, all the while enemies are spawning. So you'll have to, kill the enemies along with putting these seeds in the cart. And then once you have the right number of seeds, then you'll be able to push the button to open the door to the next level. And then you'll do the objective in that section. And then you'll have to do one more section. So you'll have three sections in total before you can leave the elevator. You get an X amount of lives depending on what level you're playing at. The different levels are easy, normal, hard, and extreme. You obviously get more levels at the easier difficulties and less levels at the harder difficulties. So overall, the achievement list is pretty well and balanced about completing jobs, doing it on different levels. Where the difficulty lies comes in is that they tweaked the game so that at the beginning, when it first came out, a lot of people, once you got your level up, you were able to do the hardest difficulty, or the last one, which is the extreme difficulty. You used to be able to do that solo, and that's just not the case now because they just dump wave after wave after wave of enemies now on extreme difficulty, and it is very difficult to do. I was, my friend and I, we had a hard time getting everything going. It took me a long time to level up to get to that point to be able to play it. I mean, it's definitely satisfying when you do it, but it definitely sucks because a lot of people had it easier beforehand to get it done. So, excuse me. As you level up in the game, you'll get access to different perks that you can buy. You'll be picking up certain materials throughout the levels that you'll carry with you if you are able to survive to the end. You'll use those materials to upgrade your perks. The leveling system, I think, is pretty fair. After I think I have about 50 hours in the game, I was about level 50 or so. So, I mean, it was a pretty good job on leveling and giving you access to perks to help you progress and everything. But just my big complaint is just, making it a lot more difficult on it. And instead of being able to allow us to play and enjoy it, a lot of people are complaining about just the endless type of waves and the health of the enemies and everything is definitely a downside. But yeah, as you explore the different kits and you'll max those out, which the max level is level 9. As you do all that stuff, you'll get achievements for that. Um, and then as you experiment with the different special weapons, as you are playing through the game, you'll have access to a little bit of a special that will slowly what is the term? Is like it'll slowly fill up, I guess. And so eventually it'll allow you to use your special. Each class has its own special thing. So as you use those different specials, you'll get achievements as well. But overall, the list is not that bad. It's just, again, they kind of tweaked the game to make it a little bit, I think, unfairly balanced in there and kind of made it a little bit more difficult than they needed to be. You can definitely tell that this is Remedy's first crack at a multiplayer game because they've been trying to tweak stuff a little bit too much. But any thoughts or anything on FBC?
Yeah, it sounds like I'm probably not going to do it. Um, like I think it would be great. But didn't I see something about them looking to shut it down, or are it's not doing as well as they thought?
Yeah, it's not. They've lost a lot of their player base. I did join their Discord as I was trying to help, identify some bugs and everything, and just also voice my displeasure with the endless amount of enemies.
Mhm.
Uh, and so I haven't heard of anything about them shutting it down yet, but I could see it going that way in the future. I know
Yeah,
it's on It does have crossplay, and I was playing with some PlayStation people, and they say that it's pretty low count on their side as well.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was just maybe it's just me thinking, oh well, it's not doing well. It's doing really not well. I think is what I saw, and so I was just like, seems like the writing's on the wall for this one. Maybe if you were going to do it, now's the time.
Yeah, if you are going to do it, I mean, their next update was supposed to come out in November, their next kind of meaty update, but it got pushed back to January. But they did just add, surprisingly, they did not have an in-game voice chat at all. So you'd have to do everything off of like parties in your system or on
Mhm.
Discord, whatever you wanted to do for your, to get people if you were cross playing. But yeah, they're still committed to trying to make it. I don't know if they're going to be able to get it to that point. Uh, they are, it is available on Steam and PlayStation, Xbox. It's available on Game Pass and PlayStation Plus and all that. So they're reaching as many different areas as they can. But it's just, unfortunately, they kind of made it a little bit too difficult. And I think it drove a lot of people away that like to farm for materials to upgrade stuff and everything. There is no like pay to win or stuff. You can, the stuff that you use your materials on is either to upgrade your perks or to buy new clothes for your person. That's really it. There's nothing like, hey, if I get this, I'll get this XP thing. I could be a lot level higher than someone. No, that's not how they did it. So, but it was a little frustrating because, one of the hard achievements is like completing a level on hard with no one going down. Well, they used to be able to do that solo, and now, you'll have, two waves of enemies will spawn in, and you'll try to do some of the objectives while not going down and everything. And then all of a sudden, three more waves of enemies will come in while you're still trying to clean up the two waves. So it's kind of just like that. Extreme is even worse, where there's 4 or 5 waves of enemies that come. You barely clear them out. Maybe you have 10 seconds, and then the next couple waves come in. And so you're just really not able to kind of
Mhm.
progress through the level enough to do it because you're just constantly fighting enemies the whole time, which is not very fun when you're not able to do the other side of it too. So that was kind of a little bit of my break. But I agree with you. If you want to get this done, I would get it done now before any rumor of a shut off occurs.
Because I don't remember if you mentioned it, I missed it, but I was looking at that last achievement and I saw that someone said you could do it solo, and I know you said that you used to be able to do that. So these endless waves are basically nullifying that solution, saying that you can do it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's too
I
bad.
I mean like I said, I'm level 50. I could not do it solo. I mean, I got some good perks on there. You can add some stuff like burning bullets, electricity bullets.
Mhm.
You can do stuff to kind of help you out, but I don't think I could do that solo on extreme. Even on like there's only, I think there's like 6 or 7 maps, and there's one map that's really good for it. Um, and that one even ties you with having to do it in corruption, which I didn't really talk about. But if there's you used to be able to choose a different level of corruption 1 through 3. And that would mean, as if you're any kind of familiar with the Alan Wake universe, they had some corrupted items that they bring in from that game series and control to this, and they kind of just add a little bit extra stuff that will amp the enemies up a little bit, like make them faster, make them stronger, stuff like that. So you want to kill them quickly, so you have to do it
Mhm.
on the hardest difficulty with every level or every section of the level, each of the 3, I guess, in the level. So they'll basically be one per each section. They'll have something, so you want to kill those fast to take off that advantage for the enemies. But yeah, it's just you can't do it by yourself anymore. Even with
Uh,
3 people, it's hard.
yeah, that means I'm not going to do it because I'm not going to be able to convince anybody else to do this. So
Yeah. But I mean, I have helped some people out after I finished. I'm more than happy to help out. I still have the game installed for a little bit. I get messages every once in a while from people wanting help, and I help them as I can. But overall, the list is, for about like 90% of the list, 85%. It's not a bad list. It's just that last 3 achievements that are really, really hard on it. Especially if you're a little bit lower level, you don't have access to those good perks or stuff for your weapon yet.
it's
So
too
that's
bad because that reminds me of the what was the World War Z. I enjoyed that game, but
yeah,
then yeah, the completion for it just seems really difficult because the higher difficulty levels, even with our group of 4, just seemed completely undoable. I
yeah.
guess maybe we just suck, or we're not specked out right, or something. I don't know, but it's just shame when you just have no hope of getting the completion. Once again, not a completionist, but it just kind of sucks that it's that hard.
Yeah, but when they take away the fun from it to like not
Yes.
even be able to have a chance, and it's just, do I need to play this 10 hours a day for 3 months, 4 months to be able to access anything close to it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't.
Kind of like what was that zombie game that was made by the Left 4 Dead people, Back for Blood or something, right? I heard a lot about the
Yeah.
same thing where the cards and
Exactly.
everything, like it was overtly too difficulty just to be difficult,
Mm.
kind of thing. But
Oh well, I'm glad I did
hopefully
too.
they'll tweak it here in the future. They said there's been a bunch of complaints for their on the Reddit and the Discord and everything. So hopefully they'll kind of tweak it to make it just a little bit easier in the future.
Yeah, or just yeah, somehow more fun. Like if it was more fun, and I could sell it. Then maybe.
Anyways, that's FBC Firebreak that I talked about. Koosh kind of gave a little mention on Ball and Pit. Monsters are coming and Pigeon Simulator. So if you're interested in any of those games, check them out. Before we move on to Game Pass, I asked Koosh, which I shouldn't have done because I know he has about a million tab opens right now.
Yeah.
But anything catch your eye on the Black Friday sale? Speaking of which, there's a Black Friday
Absolutely,
sale.
absolutely, and I'm guessing the Black Friday sales may be over by now for people. Let's see, hold on. It ends
That's actually a good
in
question.
it ends in 8 days, so they could still have a day left or two if they listen to this pretty early.
What day is
Um,
that it leaves?
so it says 8 days is the sale, so that'd be like the third, second or
Third.
third.
Okay.
Yeah, probably
So you'll have
second,
this
third.
December 3rd ish.
Yes, so they'll have very little time. So quickly run to your browser because Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. So the game was on, I want to say the 3DS. No, not maybe not the 3DS, but the 2DS, something like that. The Nintendo system with the clamshell and the stylus. Ghost Trick Phantom Detective uh, is on Xbox, but it's never been this cheap. It's finally below 50% off. It's $10 down from 30. I'm going to pick this up because it never goes on this deep of a sale, and I've just been really wanting to get that completion and get achievements for it. So I'm picking that one up. And then something else that I don't know from experience because I haven't played these games because I want to buy them. Is the Escape Room 6 Games Pack. This is from publisher MC2 Games. I've played their most recent game, which is called it is called Secrets of Black Rock Manor Escape Room, and I had a really good time with that. I think it was about 6 hours. I had a notepad and pen. I was just scratching things out and figuring out puzzles and just loving it. So I am very interested in their other games. Once again, they are the publisher, not the developer. The developer of Secrets of Black Rock Manor Escape Room was Beery Beery, and they haven't done anything else. So the next best thing for me is these escape rooms by the same publisher. So it's 6 games. It is, I want to say, $30. Yeah, I think it's $30 was the combo. I'm having a hard time finding the price right now.
Well, while you
But
do
yeah,
that, I'll give.
I would check that out.
Okay. Any more that you got?
No, just those two. I'm not going to go crazy.
We know you're going to go crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the ones that I kind of looked at. I just started the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster today. I'm playing the first game. That's at its lowest price at $48.74. So if you're interested, that's 35% off of the games right there. I think that's the lowest price it's been. So if you're interested in that, I might not get much lower. And then the other one, I was telling Koosh before, they had a pretty good Doom sale with a lot of the different Doom games for $27 plus some DLC in there. So if that's something that interests you as well, then check that out. But yeah, I think you'll have a few days from release to get any last sales that you want in from Black Friday. I didn't see anything too much that jumped at me, but I'll take a deeper look here over the weekend and see if there's anything that interests me. What do we got coming to Game Pass, Koosh?
Coming to Game Pass.
That you're
Let's
definitely going to
see.
play with me.
Absolutely. So we are currently, yes. So Banisher's Ghost of New Eden just came out on the 25th. Of course, you're listening later, so this is not new for you. We're going to sort of simulplay that over the same month or two, I guess. I started it. I saved once I got to the first town and had some conversations. I saved after that, and hopefully I'll be right back in before I forget those conversations. Kill it and kill it with fire. I should probably say what type of game that is. That's an action role playing game. Role playing 60 to 80 hours. I looked at a outline for the walkthrough to get all the achievements. And it looks like it's going to take at least 1.5 playthroughs if you play it smart and know ahead of time what's missable in the order to do missions and things like that. Seems like if you search for that, you'll find an outline that is not too spoilery. I don't think it just lists the missions you have to do and kind of tells you solve this mission this way versus this way, and that should give you enough light points or dark points so that you get this ending versus that ending.
Yeah.
So if you want to get it all done efficiently, you might want to look at that. Also on the 25th, so this is the past, is Kill It With Fire 2. It's in Game Pass. That game is super fun. I like the first one. The second one is just more of it, and with a different mission type structure. It's kind of a central hub, and you choose which area you're going to go off to, rather than being, this level ends and then this level begins. So it's kind of cool. And you're going to have to revisit the areas, and you get all kinds of new cool weapons and missions or ways to upgrade those weapons. It's just an improvement. It's a great game. Really enjoy that one. December 1st, we're getting Marvel Cosmic Invasion, which I believe is a brawler. That's going to be an ultimate. So you have to keep that ultimate subscription going. December 2nd, Lost Records Bloom and Rage, also an ultimate. That's an adventure point and click, and it's estimated at 14 to 18 hours. December 4th, we're getting Routine, which is a game, apparently, if you've been following this history, it was supposed to come out, and then I guess it wasn't going to come out, and now it is going to come out again on December 4th. It's a first-person shooter in the horror category, so not really for me, but if you like that sort of thing, you might want to check it out. And then December 9th, 2 games that I'm very excited about. Dome Keeper, which is probably a roguelite action. Not been genred by TA yet, but I imagine they'll probably get around to calling it something like that. Actually, they did call it, they already pre-genred it as what? Roguelite Sandbox. I don't know if that's going to stick. I think I need to play it first, and then.
Well, isn't it out on Steam right now?
It is. I think Sandbox doesn't fit. I don't know why it's got that, but we'll see. In any case, the game that was highly inspired by Domekeeper called Wall World, I really liked. It's a roguelite game, and I really like that game, and so I'm expecting the Domekeeper is just going to blow it out of the water. So I'm very excited to play this game. And then lastly, a game about digging a hole, which is awesome title. I believe it's going to be sim management. And if you sort of think that it's like Power Wash Simulator, but you're digging a hole in your backyard with a little spade, a little trowel, and then you find stuff in your backyard, and then you sell it, and you get like a better trowel or a bigger shovel, things like that. And you just keep building this hole to the center of the earth. It just seems really cool and wacky and strange, and I love it. And I don't think it's going to be a huge game, but I'm very excited to check this out, and it's coming to Game Pass, so there you go. Game about digging a hole.
Yeah, it sounds like some good stuff in there. I'm interested in a few of those games myself. Unfortunately, I think by the time you get this, all these games will be out, but leaving Game Pass, we have Barbie Project Friendship, Lords of the Fallen, Octopath Traveler 1 and 2, and Steam World Build, which Koosh talked about a few months ago.
Yep.
So all of those
They're gone.
will pretty much be gone by the time this releases. So,
and then I'm sure by the time that happens, they'll also know what's leaving in the first half of next month. It's a strange timing for news. We're not going to be able to let you know ahead of time. So,
yeah. Anyways, so I guess on to Brad Camps. I saw a few things this week. I don't know if there's anything that you want to throw out there, but I saw today Dish said he finished Lonely Mountain Snow Rider, so that's awesome. I know those games can be kind of difficult. I haven't really dipped my toe into those, as we'd say it. Nasashi finished Don't Starve Together. Looks like played 137 hours, so that's quite the completion there. Congratulations on that. Slayer finished Anthem. Slayer reigning, so congrats on that. I know that's a one that was getting there, getting close to closing up shop there. So it's good to finish that one. And what is it? Ella Fillet 77 finished City Skylines. That's a monster completion there. 242 hours. I don't know if Koosh has ever played a game that much in his life.
I have, but not one like that.
What was the other one? Was it J Block that did something? Yeah. Oh, he got 900,000. Congrats. 900,000, almost to that million.
Not too far away. Sneak up on you.
Yeah, I think that was kind of the stuff. I know they did a revamp of my Xbox stuff, so people were posting that in there. I always enjoy seeing stats from people and my stuff as well. So congrats on everyone getting that done. But to the brag among all brags, since Koosh decided not to go into Dave the Diver, I thought we were going to be playing this together. I thought we'd be finishing this together, but he left me out to dry. But I was the first on TA to finish Dave the Diver.
Yeah, congratulations. I missed you saying that we were going to play this one together. I thought it was all about banishers. And then I look her over and you got the pole position in Dave the Diver, going ham on it.
Well, as I think I might have mentioned on the last episode, I was in Louisiana on a work trip, and it ended up being less busy of a work week than anticipated. So I had a lot of time to game. So I stupidly started Barbie Project Friendship. Even I did not heed the warning that Koosh gave during his excellent review of the game. And then I even had my friend look at it and say, "Oh, that doesn't look too bad. Let me play it." And then texting me the whole time, "This is stupid. Why am I even doing this?" I was like, "I didn't tell you to do it." I also finished Keeper, which wasn't that bad. I know we've kind of talked a
That's
little
high
bit about it.
praise.
Well, I mean, I like supporting Xbox. I like supporting their Game Pass games. So I thought, hey, let me support this game. I mean, it's not typically my kind of genre that I like, but I think I did about 4 hour completion. It wasn't that bad. And then as I was finishing up Keeper, all that news was going off on gaming news, and Koosh has talked a lot about Dave the Diver on Steam and PlayStation and everything, and so him and he was excited that it was coming to Xbox, and I thought it might be coming to Game Pass, and it wasn't. But then I was like, you know what, $20 isn't that bad. Let me just blindly buy it, and I'll start it, and I really enjoyed it, and I'll talk about it in 2 weeks from now a little bit more, and try to give some tips on if you want to complete the game and everything. But it's a fun game. I think it might be borrowing from Koosh, might be my game of the year for the year. I'll have to see how it stacks up, to the rest of the stuff I played this year. But it was fun. It's well worth its $20. I'll give you that.
One of my 10 game of the years.
Yeah. One of my one game of the year so far that I mentioned. I don't know if I've mentioned anything else, so I'd have to listen back. But if you're interested in it, I would definitely say go check it out. It's a lot of fun. It's not difficult. I guess you would probably call it a roguelite, but it's not like typical roguelite stuff. It's just a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with it. So go check it out. Support that developer, and hopefully, we can get a Dave the Diver 2 or something else a lot quicker on Xbox.
Well, they did announce at the time that they released it for Xbox that there is DLC. In the Jungle DLC is sometime early 2026. So there will be more content. We don't know if there's going to be achievements, but there will be more content. And maybe eventually we'll see a Dave the Diver 2 in the next 10 years.
So. I hope so. But yeah, as you said, extra content. There is 2 free packs, a Godzilla pack and a Dredge pack on there. There's also a paid pack of Yakuza, I believe. So there is some extra content. It doesn't provide a lot of extra stuff, but the Dredge stuff is pretty cool. And there's 1 or 2 missions for the Godzilla stuff that's not too bad. So it was definitely a lot of fun. But
more on that in 2 weeks. Yeah.
More on that. Yeah. We'll tease you for next time, unless something crazy happens.
Who knows?
But anyways, happy Thanksgiving, guys. Hope you had a great day. Until next time, I'm Wild West 08, joined by KooshMoose. We'll catch you later.
Bye-bye.
See ya.